What is going on, guys? I am SceptileMC, or George D, coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, here to bring you my GBA Season 7 Week 10 match against Dan, A-Drive, or the St. Louis Rampardos. Now, he decided to bring the Clefable, the Terrakion, the Victini, the Scizor, the Haxorus, and the Delmise. Honestly, team pretty much expected all of it. The only two I'd say I didn't really expect is the three, I guess, is the Scizor, which I'm assuming is just going to be Choice Scarf, or else there's no point in bringing it. And then the Haxorus and the Delmise. I feel like he could have done better with, like, Gliscor, Exploud, or even the Toxapex. I feel like could have been a better choice just because of just the way it is. But I'm perfectly fine with seeing a Delmise because that Pokemon doesn't scare me in the slightest of bits because of Mew and Garchomp, and just everything has super effective damage for it and just coverage for it. So that's that. But without further ado, let me get right on into the video, or the battle, not video. I think he's going to want to lead off with either the Terrakion, the Scizor maybe, or the Clefable. And no matter what, my Mew can counter all of those. I do have Taunt, which means I can stop the Stealth Rocks from coming up if it's the Clefable lead. I can get it my own, and then everything else can just get burned. So he decides to lead off with Debra, which I believe is his Clefable, and I am just going to Taunt turn 1. Don't think he could do anything to me if he wants to go for Moonblast, unless it's like Life Orb, max special attack, modest nature. It's not doing anything. He tries to get up his rocks, fails because of the Taunt. And on this turn, I believe I do just go for a Super Fang right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, I do go for Super Fang. And now, this really, I don't see an item after this, so he's either going to be Choice Scarfed or he's going to be Banded, and that's Choice Scarfed. And if it was Banded, I wanted to get off the burn. Goes for the U-turn, brings me down to half, which after leftovers, I will be able to take another one of those quite easily. And he goes into Ron Burgundy, which is kind of interesting to me. I didn't expect him to switch this in on a possible Flamethrower, Fire Blast, or in this case a Will-O-Wisp. We do luckily hit, and Ron Burgundy is going to take a little bit of damage with the burn. Completely crippling this thing now, because I'm assuming it's just going to be a standard Assault Vest spread, or something not that crazy, because it's usually just a physical attacker. I am going to Roost up here, though. I don't want to take like a Shadow Claw or something, or whatever Ghost Stab this thing wants to have to try to hit my Mew. And we're going to see how much he's going to do to me. He just goes for an EQ, kind of telling me that he doesn't have Stab, or he wanted to, or he kind of predicted me to switch out into Registeel here. Not going to happen. He's going to do a solid 2% to me, and leftovers is going to bring me back up to almost full. And right here, I know I can just get up my Stealth Rocks. I'm not concerned with Ron Burgundy at all. I could actually sit here. Oh, never mind. I do decide to switch. Strange play by George. Strange play by George. Oh, Stealth Rocks is on this thing. God damn it, George. Forgot. Stealth Rocks is on this thing. He's going to get hit by the Rough Skin and the Rocky Helmet. I'm sorry if I confused anyone who watched my team builder today. Yeah, that was my mistake. I have Stealth Rocks on this thing, so I'm going to go into Samahada right here. And I do believe I do just go for my Stealth Rocks as he goes out into Debra. Or I pull a double switch. No, I go for Stealth Rocks. I do like my little double switches sometimes. But rocks are more important because he does have the Victini. I do want to prioritize my rocks over just getting off just tiny little plays. I do feel like he's going to go for his own rocks right here. So I am going to make the switch out into Blaze Doge, which is my Entei, not Ento. Entei. And I'm Choice Specs. I have Eruption. I know he's probably a physical attacker. And I'm just going to fire off a Choice Specs Eruption onto this man's team. No matter what, the thing he switches into is pretty much going to die. He could go into Terrakion, but then Terrakion's completely hindered and can't do anything anymore. But he goes into Mojito, which is the Scizor, which means Choice Scarf Scizor is not a problem anymore. He can't Revenge Kill us with anything. We're just going to Eruption, and that's going to go down. So, very good for us. We're going to see what he wants to go into right here. He decides to go into Havoc, which is the Terrakion, and now I have to make a switch. He doesn't have Exploud, he doesn't have Gliscor, he doesn't have Toxapex. Haxorus I can deal with other things. So honestly, Registeel, I had a feeling he clicked Close Combat, and I thought about going into Mew, but Registeel, you just gotta take the bullet here. I'm sorry. Take one for the team. This was actually good for me as well, because I was able to figure out that he was banded from this, because a Choice Scarf Terrakion isn't able to KO my Registeel or to roll from that range. And just the fact that he killed me so easily, I thought he'd be a life orb possibly, but he was banded, because there's no item. But right here, I nearly made the play of clicking Calm Mind, but I figured this Terrakion is too big of a threat, and he stays in and just clicks Close Combat. And that confirms he's banded, by the way, just by that damage. And I'm very happy that I clicked Surf here. I decided it was the better play, and yeah, so right here, I'm going to take out the Terrakion, bring him down all the way to 0, and, well, to be honest, I think I'm sitting pretty damn good right here. I outspeed pretty much the majority of his team, except for the Victini and the Haxorus. This Pokemon is burned, so I don't even know if it can take me out. I'm just going to fire off an Ice Beam right here. I think it should KO from the range he's at. We will see. No, it does not. And this is where something goes a little downhill for George. Because, yeah, he dies to burn. And, if it just did one more damage, I think he lived on 1 and got off that Rapid Spin. If it just did 1 more damage, my life would be so much better, because my rocks would be on the field. And this Victini comes out, and I'm assuming you guys have seen A-Drive's video. I outspeed this Victini, and I'm like, shit. Well, I guess we'll KO. No, he lives. And that, I see that boost, and I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? Then I see Trick Room, and I'm like, I lost. I just fucking lost. I don't even know what to do right now. I lost. And I get my leftovers, and I am now in overdrive. Like, complete overdrive here. Every single prediction is going through my head that could possibly go through my head. And all I can think of is, alright, we need to stall out these turns. We need to stall out these turns right now. He goes for Bolt Strike. I'm like, good, we got that right. He most likely has the Glaciate, so I think we need to pull a double switch back out into the Suicune or the Entei. But if I pull a switch out into Suicune and he goes for like a V-Create or something, predicting that, or the Fusion Bolt again, then I can't really force him to Fusion Bolt versus me. Also, my plan here was to get a Glaciate off on my Entei and hopefully be able to be slower than him and the Trick Room. Now, I should have potentially gone out into Suicune on that, but I didn't know if he would have Glaciate. He could have just had something else. He goes for V-Create here. I expected him to want a Fusion Bolt or predict my switch and go for Glaciate again, but he doesn't outspeed, or I don't outslow him, and he takes out Entei. And now I go into Water Doge, and I believe he pulls a switch here, if I'm not mistaken, or I sack off another Pokemon. He goes for V-Create and takes me out. Okay, yeah. He takes me out with V-Create, and we are sitting very, very not pretty right here. I was hoping he'd try to overpredict and go for Glaciate. V-Create was his best play, though, because he wouldn't even die to the Rocky Helmet and the Rough Skin damage. But the Twisted Dimensions are gone. And I know for a fact that he is going to switch into Clef, and that I can get off a Poison Jab against him. So that is what I'm going to be doing right here. I'm going to go for Poison Jab. What sucks is that because I have Super Fang on my Mew, is I can't actually kill the Victini. I go for Poison Jab right here, and this is where the game completely changes, and I get a crit on the Clef. I get the Poison, which kind of tells me that he's not a Magic Guard. No, that he's not unaware. And he told me after the game that he actually was going to click Healing Wish, and if he clicked Healing Wish, it once again would have just been, alright, how many predictions can I make, and can I wear him down? Because an Earthquake apparently was not going to kill the Victini, because of his, like, bulk and EVs. Which means that he would have been brought down extremely low, to a point where Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet could have taken him out. So it would have literally just been non-stop turns of, can I predict right and get the V-Create off? We kill off the Clefable. Honestly, I'm going to talk about hindsight here, because I do go for Dragon Claw, and it's actually kind of funny, because he had 12 HP on this thing, and it just so happens that with 12 HP, he has like a 3% chance to survive. But he is going to get taken down by the Rough Skin and the Rocky Helmet, so that's fine. But I'm going to talk about hindsight right here. I'm going to talk about my plays if I did not get the crit. So if I did not get the crit, I would have 100% gone for Rocks against the Clefable, just because he didn't have a spinner, and this thing would have been put in range then. I was actually planning to go for rocks. I also wanted to break any potential sash on the Haxorus. But what ended up happening was I get the crit. And rocks would have put the Victini in a range where even after a Healing Wish, he could not take... Because he was planning on Healing Wishing, he said. So if I got up my rocks, he would not be in range where he would have been able to survive my Earthquake. But that's all hindsight right there. I could say that. Honestly, no one knows how it would have played out. If I got up my rocks, I think I won in the late game, which I think I wanted to do because that was in my head after clicking the first poison jab. I was like, all right, after this, I'm gonna go for rocks, and then we're gonna have to try to beat this Clefable down with Mew or something, or yeah, we're gonna have to do something. We can go into the Raikou and fire off T-Bolts if we want to try to get a pair, Volt Switch out into Mew, taunt it. So basically, I was going to try to stall out the Clef after getting up rocks, but if he went for Healing Wish, like he planned of, I would have gotten up my rocks, he would have gone for Healing Wish, the Clef would have gone down, and then the Victini would have come in on 75%, or the Haxorus would have come in on 88%, which I both outspeed and KO after rocks. So that was my play right there. I was actually thinking of doing that. Would I have? To be honest, I don't know. It's all hindsight at this point, but anyways, guys, we go 7-3. We're on a 4-game win streak right now. Holy shit. Yeah, we go 7-3, and our playoff position is looking really good. It's not fantastic yet. We have to see how Lars does, because if Lars wins his game, I believe he goes to 6-3, I want to say, or 6-4. And that just means he's just one game behind us, and then we end up playing Lars next week, and that's going to be the big game, because it'll be a division match. Me and Lars are extremely close. It's me, Lars, and Mono are basically neck and neck going for this the 2 playoff spots. So yeah, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. So if you did in fact enjoy, I'd really appreciate it if you did comment, like, rate, or subscribe. SceptileMC or George, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.